Welcome to the Muslim Street. You're listening to the Muslim Street podcast every Sunday at 12 p.m. Eastern. We got a special show today. We got a guest here, Palestinian brother who's a very frequent visitor to the show, Abdul Rahman El Gule, who will be with us. Also, will be produced by the Lance Scurv Show out of Crowd Ghana. Shout out to Lance and the great job that his team is doing to bring us our infrastructure on a weekly basis. You can reach us at www.themuslimstreet.com. You can find some hard-hitting articles and commentary as it relates to the Muslim Street. And, of course, all social media. You can find us on Instagram as well as mainly on Facebook. We have upwards to about 5,000 followers. Haven't figured out, Lance, that Facebook game yet. I remember when we launched the Muslim Street Facebook page, within a couple of weeks, we had 5,000 followers. And that was about 7 years ago. I don't know why I won't go any further than that. The algorithm, don't even get me started. I think we have some excellent content, but the content doesn't even reach the people who are following the page. This is just an incredible stuff. But anyhow, this Abdul Rahman, this is kind of new for the Muslim Street, away from strictly talking the politics of the Muslim Street. Today we're going to have fun and talk about the human element of the Muslim Street. And that is centered around today's discussion around sports and baseball. Kind of going to use this as a groundswell to launch what's coming next on the Muslim Street. And that's the Muslim Street Sports podcast, where we can dig into sports and political commentary. And what better to kick that off and to talk about this exciting tournament that's going on. And I bet people didn't even know, Abdul Rahman, that there was a Palestinian national baseball team. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know, but we haven't been around too long. Officially, our first tournament was in 2023, but I had started recruiting in 2021. It took me maybe a couple of years to get enough guys, solid guys, to enter a tournament. So our first tournament, after 2 years of recruitment and training and, getting into some games and competing as much as we can outside of tournaments, we entered our first tournament in 2023, February. We went to the West Asian Cup to the Muslim country, Islamic Republic of Pakistan. So that was a very interesting trip. And we went there as the new team in Asia. Nobody knew much about us. And after a few games, we kind of put them on notice. And they're like, who are these guys? Where'd they come from? We mercy ruled a few teams.
Wow, nice.
And we beat the defending champions at the time with Sri Lanka. We beat them 10-0. And
what is it? What is the age group of the ball players in this segment?
Well, World Baseball has all age groups. Okay, so they have the adult team, which you see in the World Baseball Classic, which is a lot of pros and guys like that. And then you have there's a 23 and under, which is more like college age guys. And then there's an 18 and under, which is high schoolers. And then there's a 15 and under. There's a 12 and under. Now, at this moment, Palestine Baseball only has the adult team, which is 18 and older. And that's the tournaments where we've competed in so far in the last 3 years. We just started this week 18 and under team, high school team. And we had an exhibition game. So that's promising for the future. And so we plan in the future to have all age groups. But right now we have the national team, which is the 18 and older. And then, like I said, we just started a high school team.
Yeah, one of the things that I came up Little League baseball, plenty baseball, high school baseball. and I thought I could go further. But one thing about baseball, as this is pre-Michael Jordan days, Black Americans everywhere were playing baseball. I mean, it was our go-to sport. And we were going through Jim Crow and everything. So in fact, Lance, put up the last post that I sent you concerning the Negro League baseball. This is pretty significant to what we talk about when we talk about the Palestinians who are currently under genocide, currently under international genocide and oppression. Doors closed everywhere. But here, there is the Palestinians are playing baseball. In spite of all of this, they're playing baseball, and there's a significance to this. The Negro Leagues, which was the primary go-to for Black baseball players prior to 1948 and Jackie Robinson integrating the quote-unquote Major League Baseball. At the time, Abdul-Rahman, the Negro Leagues as a business, this is prior to World War II, or during World War II, the Negro Leagues as a business was the third largest business in Black America, only outlasted by the beauty industry and insurance industry in the financial sector. So Black people, it used to be an all-star game that took place a couple times a year at Old Comiskey Park, and they would sell out that place right on the south side of Chicago. The place was packed. So the point of this is that in the face of oppression, baseball, and I'll end this on a quote by James Earl Jones in the movie Field of Dreams. He says, the one constant through all the years has been baseball. America has rolled by like an army of steamrollers. It has been erased like a blackboard, rebuilt and erased again, but baseball has marked the time. Talk to us about Abdul-Rahman, this phenomena, which I think is just amazing, a phenomena of the Palestinians playing baseball in the course of a genocide.
Yeah, it's been very difficult doing a lot of things because of what's going on back home in Palestine. Just trying to get things done, the offices, because all official paperwork has to be done from Palestine. And to be honest with you, with the roadblocks and people in the Palestinian Olympic Committee, which we fall under, the federation falls under, all sports federations fall under the sports ministry, and the Palestine Olympic Committee, those guys, sometimes they can't even get to work. They can't travel. One of the guys who really has been great and working with us, his name's Nasser. It takes him an hour and a half to travel from his town to the office. That's just one way. And he leaves so early in the morning just to get there. And the checkpoints and the roadblocks and the settlers, and they have to find different ways to get to work. It's such a hard grind for them. Some days they can't get to work, so it's really tough. And I give a lot of credit to those guys over there and what they're trying to do, and just to do something in life, like you said, the occupation and the violence against the people, and they're just trying to live normal lives and do things socially, culturally, athletically, and it's so difficult. So that's one challenge is to get paperwork done and get registered for tournaments and do all these things. So it's really hard. I mean, we're blessed. Most of us are outside of that, where we can train. I mean, over there they can't train with what's going on. It affects all athletic sports.
Yeah. And on the other side of oppression, if I just want to have the listening audience look at this screen. Here's what's on the other side of oppression. the oppression of the Palestinians. It's already been game planned. Here's the other side of that. If you look at the screen, prior to Jackie Robinson in 1948, when the black players are allowed to enter the major leagues, the next 10 of the next 14 rookie of the years in the National League, all black players. You know, as it points out here, culminated in 1961 with the Hall of Famer Billy Williams out of Mobile, Alabama. So this tells us a thousand words. It also tells us about baseball, Abdul Rahman, like no other sport: football, basketball, hockey, being the other major sports, and of course soccer. Unlike any of those sports, baseball is controlled or framework by stats, numbers. I mean, the stats tell everything. The stats will tell you everything. I mean, if you can get a single 3 out of 10 times in your career, you're gonna hit 300. You're going to the Hall of Fame, generally speaking, right?
Right.
Yeah, you know, so these stats, and I don't know if you ever got into any kind of discussions we always do on this side, but just by looking at what's up on the screen, is that out of oppression, Babe Ruth is recognized all the way up to Hank Aaron in the 1970s as the home run king. When Lou Gehrig, probably one of the better, probably the best first baseman to ever play during the white era, has to have an asterisk by it because they cut off the next 10 out of the next 14 rookie of the years. So Babe Ruth couldn't have been playing against the best players.
Right.
So that era, that entire era, Joe DiMaggio, as great as Joe DiMaggio was, and not to say he wouldn't have succeeded and put up the same numbers prior to that, but he only spends half his career playing against black players, right? And not his fault, not Babe Ruth's fault, not Lou Gehrig's fault, but it needs an asterisk. And so I like you to kind of dive into what the other side of Palestinian baseball and the future of Palestinian baseball will look like coming out of oppression.
Yeah, like I said, it's so hard to put a team together because there's a lot of politics involved. Also, they're trying to really in sports in general, whether any sport, whether it's the FIFA or the baseball or any, they try to shut down Palestine. So. We gotta challenge the system. We have to keep pushing to get into tournaments. And then when we get there, the first thing they say, I mean, they go straight to us. You cannot say any of this. You can't say this.
Sounds familiar.
But I mean, we do still when we talk to the media, but like we're restricted in the stadiums on no politics involved. But that's part of what we're doing when we travel is to keep the name of Palestine alive and that we are people, we are human, we do play sports. I know there's some criticisms, with everything that's going on and all the seriousness, you guys are running around playing games. We don't see it that way. We see it as representing Palestine, the Palestinian people on the world stage because there are segments in this world that are trying to erase us.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
And trying to silence us. Mm-hmm. And there's people out there say there is no such thing. I get a lot of comments on social media. Oh, there's no such country. Even on baseball websites where they put results of tournaments and stats, you're talking about stats. They're putting asterisks on us. The former British colony. They won't even use the word Palestine sometimes. The former British colony. Yeah. State of Palestine in quotes. Trying to delegitimize us. So that's one of our challenges. And so we push to keep going. We're going to these tournaments, whether you like it or not. We're going to play. We're going to be on the field. We're going to hold our flag up proudly.
Yeah,
You
long
know,
live the spirit of Edward Said, who in his piece in the late 1970s, Orientalism, pulled the cover off how the West will create a narrative and then surround itself with quote unquote experts of the narrative in order to cite the research. Yeah, there's no Palestine. The question coming out of this is that you mentioned from a political perspective and the humanization of the Palestinian people and how this is an offensive move to have a baseball team. And you also talked about uh, certain things you can and cannot say vis-a-vis Palestine in the struggle. This happened when Jackie Robinson, and one of the reasons why they chose Jackie Robinson because he was college educated, he was well spoken, and they wanted to keep him inside of a box when it came to his response to white racism in 1948. So much so that some scholars have talked about how this aged Jackie Robinson prematurely. By the 1960s, he had a full 12 years later, a full head of gray hair, multiple health issues, diabetes, high blood pressure, eventually getting his limbs cut off, and then, of course, dying at a very young age. I think he barely even made 50. So, but the message to Jackie Robinson was, don't talk about this, and no, you can't talk about that, and you can't respond this way. It seems like the same thing is going on here.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, by the way, our left fielder wears number 42 proudly.
Jackie Robinson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, Tarek Al-Bour wears 42 for us, and spent a year in the Kansas City Royals organization, minor leagues. It's we can put up the flag, but other signs are not allowed. And we respect the rules as far as the stadiums is baseball, the baseball organization's property. But it also gives us the opportunity, though, when we go to these other countries, and maybe you've seen some of the clips in Pakistan and Taiwan, where we do get a chance to talk to the local media.
Yeah.
And we're thinking they're going to talk about our team and sports, but it always comes back about what's happening in Gaza, what's happening in Palestine, the genocide in Gaza, the occupation on the West Bank. And there's no way avoiding it, but what we do is we proudly represent our country, represent the Palestinian people, and we try to do it in the best way possible. So,
Yeah, I'm going to ask a question for you to kind of tell the listening audience who the stars are, okay? Before we get to that, when we're coming up, one of the big things that we were participating in as little leaguers, and we went out in the first round every year out in the south suburbs of Chicago. However, we stayed glued in to the Little League World Series, and it always behooved me that when they got to the team from Saudi Arabia, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, I expect, fully at 11 years old, that we would turn that TV on and see, a group of Muslims playing baseball. But they were the children of all the multinational oil companies that had dominated the region. They were all white. So it's amazing. So when we talk about Palestinian baseball coming out of that region, this is very significant.
Coming out of that region, I mean, there's some countries that have baseball. So you have Tunisia, you have Iraq, you have Egypt, you have Palestine. Other countries are starting to start up federations. The Saudi Arabia, I think a couple of years ago, started a federation. And that's good to see, right? So they're training their people to play. But it's funny to say that because, they were probably the kids of the guys who work at Aramco oil company.
Yes.
American guys and stuff like that. We played in a tournament a couple of years ago in Dubai. I think I mentioned it to you at the time. And Saudi Arabia had a team. and they had one Saudi Arabian. I think they had one Tunisian, but the rest were guys from Aramco. Yeah, one was a Muslim, so he was a convert. Um, but yeah, they didn't they're to me they weren't really Saudi Arabia, right?
Yeah.
But I do give credit to the Saudi Arabians that they are doing a federation. They got their youth, and maybe in a couple of years you will see real Saudi Arabians represent Saudi Arabia instead of American guys. The Dubai team also was no Emiratis on that team.
Yeah. It goes back to a cartoon I saw over 20 years ago, where this 10-year-old, 11-year-old white boy is standing over in the Middle East. So the West, of course, in their takeover of the Middle East and their oil, have to justify the dehumanization of the indigenous people that are there, right? The local people there. This is clear. This is what this is about. So you got this. Here's the setup. You got this cartoon, and you got a 10, 11-year-old white boy. He's standing next to his father, who was an oil executive over at Aramco. And he in the Middle East. And you could put that in Oman. You could put that in Bahrain. You could put that in Emirat. It's the same story. But he looks up at his father, Abdul Rahman, and he says, "Dad, why is our oil running under their sand?" And this is the same boy that's playing baseball over there.
Yes. Yeah.
I just looked at, because the thing about the Little League World Series, it was one of the purest things that we had growing up, right? I mean, when the Taiwanese team came out, we knew they were going to be Taiwanese. When the Japanese team came out, Chinese team, we knew that, right? When the team from Gary, Indiana, led by Lloyd McClendon in 1972, stormtrooped the Little League World Series. This dude hit a home run basically every time he got up. He later played for the Pittsburgh Pirates and, of course, the Chicago Cubs. We felt that we knew who was who. Everybody had a chance, right? But when you see Saudi Arabia marches out this all-white team, I'm like, come on, man. There's something wrong with this picture.
Yeah.
It's a political image, so that the Palestinian national baseball team is refuting all of that. This is the bigger picture of all this, and why I'm excited about it.
Yes, and we're always fighting different attacks from different places. Some will say you're not really Palestinian, because you live in America, you train in the United States. Well, if there was no genocide, if there's no occupation, maybe we could get some real stuff going on back home.
Yes.
But in the meantime, we are fully Palestinian. Every one of my guys on the team, their parents are from there. We have relatives there who have been oppressed, who have died, who have been killed. And then, when they did do some sports academies over there and train baseball, they got killed. We had 3 people in Gaza who were practicing to be baseball players. 2 of them we took on one of our trips to Pakistan. They were martyred.
Wow.
Which was very tough. It was tough on our team, tough on me and the players, because we had spent some time with them and got to know them, and to hear the news that they were martyred. It was very tough. It was tough, because you had that personal connection. But this is some of the things that we go through. There hasn't been anybody on our team, even though we are not currently living in Palestine, that isn't affected by what's going in Palestine.
Yeah.
And we all feel that. We all know the big responsibility that we have, and the blessing that we have that we're not there, but that we have to do something to show the world that we are real people.
Yeah, this correlation of the black baseball player and his ascension into the major leagues. We've heard the narratives of people like Hank Aaron, Reggie Jackson a couple of years ago on at the All-Star game talk about the oppression and the second class citizenship that he had to go through, being the number one pick of the A's, coming up through the minor league systems and some of the towns that he had to play in the South was just incredible. But again, the correlation between the black baseball player emerging and the Palestinians as a baseball team emerging out of the struggle cannot be ignored. It is a twin system here. So I'm really, really excited about that. Let's talk a little bit about your relationship with the Chicago White Sox. Tip my hat. Ozzie Guillen got his jersey, Venezuelan, got his jersey retired, as well as his name put in the ring of honor on the south side of Chicago yesterday. I was able to watch the game on TV, sold out crowd. The beloved Ozzie Guillen, Rookie of the Year back in the 1980s. I think it was probably about 1984, 1985.
Yes, something like that.
Yeah, Rookie of the Year.
All-Star.
Yeah. Perennial All-Star. Later became the manager. 2005, Chicago White Sox win the World Series. Hadn't won the World Series since 1917. And Ozzie's at the helm of that. But we saw yesterday a very beloved, but a deeper relationship that you as a coach have with the Guillen family. And Ozzie can tell a little bit about that.
Yeah, actually, I'm going to be seeing him later tonight at a little celebration for the honor that he had his jersey retired. But we're blessed, I was the actual field manager for the first tournament, and we won the silver medal in Pakistan. But I'm always striving as the general manager to make the team better, which means trying to find better ball players, and also better coaches. So reached out to the Guillen family, and we're blessed that Ozzie Jr. and Oni came on board as our coaches. So Ozzie Jr. was our manager for a couple tournaments. It's tough, these tournaments, to travel to because of the commitment of time. They can run as much as 2 weeks. So he had some time with his work that he had to take care of. His brother Oni has stepped in, has been the manager the last 2 tournaments, done a great job. They both did a great job. Oni brought home the West Asian Cup Championship for us.
All right, let's check it out.
His dad got a championship.
What was that played at? The West Asian?
This was in Iran, of all places.
Okay. And congratulations on that. The any room for an old retired baseball player to maybe do some third base coaching?
Maybe first base. Third base.
Third base is a little tougher because I'll be doing like this, and I shouldn't be doing like this.
The other thing is that shows how we're trying to always be better. Had a lot of people reach out to be coaches and pitching coaches.
See a lot of that. Yeah.
But we were also, through the Guillen connection, our pitching coach is former Major League All-Star and the winner of Game 4 of the World Series, Freddie Garcia.
Wow. Yeah. Pitching coach?
He's our pitching coach.
That's amazing.
So we have a former Major League All-Star as our pitching coach, which I'm telling you, I think we got little Palestine as the best pitching coach in all of Asia. And when we went to China, the baseball fans in China, they were all over him.
Yeah,
signing autographs. Yeah, So that's a really honor for us to have somebody of this stature as Freddie Garcia.
Now, Freddie Garcia was on that 2005 staff, wasn't he?
Yeah, he won Game 4.
Yeah, with the White Sox, absolutely. Yeah.
Game
4, which was the seminal game of a 4-game sweep against the Houston Astros. And the reason, White Sox ran that whole tournament once they got in the playoffs.
I think they only lost one throughout the whole
one,
playoffs.
one game, and they were going neck and neck with the Cleveland Indians at the time to get in the playoffs. But once they got in, they ran over everybody. And I
We
mean,
swept the World Series. You don't see that often, too.
Big
A
Bobby
World
Jinx.
Series sweep is very rare.
That's because Big Bobby Jinx walked in there. I mean, when you have somebody like that who can close it out. Did you ever get a chance to meet Bobby Jinx? Just passed away earlier this year. Rest in peace.
I didn't. He actually, before his illness got really advanced, he was the manager of the Windy City Thunderbolts down in Crestwood,
okay,
where we just played a 3-game set with Mexico All-Stars.
Yeah. Okay. Crestwood, suburban Chicago.
Yes, down south on 140th and Cicero.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We played 3-game sets. We just finished that yesterday. And that was at Ozinga Field, where it's the home of the Windy City Thunderbolts that he used to manage. But no, I never met Bobby Jenks in person. Met a lot of more of the older White Sox, but yeah,
baseball is has a special place, especially in the hearts of the youth. Everybody can remember their first baseball game at the stadium, what stadium they went to, where they sat in that stadium. Mine happened to be Old Comiskey Park.
Me too.
It used to be a time, I do recommend, when you got when you had perfect attendance at the end of the school year. Right around early May, they'll start giving away the tickets if you got perfect attendance. So my brothers and sisters and all those perfect attendance, and mom and dad took us down to old White Sox Park, and we sat out in left center field. And my biggest, I had two memories that will never be erased. And the reason I'm talking about this is because baseball scales everything in terms of conversation, and that's why it's important to the Palestinians, right? And the fact that they have a national team that's thriving. These stories need to be humanized. So I have two recollections of this 6-year-old boy walking into White Sox Park. One is, I never saw grass so green in my life. I could not believe it. We're out there in left center field. I'm just looking at this grass. I was like, this is incredible. The second thing was
nothing like what we played on, right?
No. We're moving the rocks out of the way on the dirt, bro. We knew all of the bumps and the bruises on the field that when a ball was hit, we knew which way to go, honing our skills. But the second thing was, and this is kind of a funny story, I'll let you jump in on as we continue to humanize the story of baseball and the Palestinians. And that was, I don't know, around the third or fourth inning, I had to use the bathroom. Dad walks me me and my brother to the bathroom. And when you walked into the bathroom at Old Comiskey Park, you can smell, as you walk through those hallways, you can smell the mustard and ketchup. No ketchup, but the mustard from the hot dogs in the cement, bro. I mean, so we walk into the bathroom, and they had the regular urinals for the little boys. And then they had a whole wall of urinals, and it said, well, I can do number one. And it said, future White Sox. Which one you think that
future White Sox?
I'm going to be the shortstop of the Chicago White Sox one day, bro. No question about it. So these are the kind of stories that baseball bring about, and the Palestinians are making their stories right now, and only better things are going to come out of that. But I say that to say that last night when Ozzie was getting his Chicago White Sox was getting his jersey retired and put in the Ring of Honor there at the stadium, you guys were in representation at the Palestinian national baseball team.
Yeah. I don't know if you've seen our photo there. We had like half the team was out there. We were up in the nosebleeds, but we were there.
Yeah,
we had a good time. I just sent you the photo.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, a lot of the guys, it was the first time at White Sox Park, so it was a pretty cool experience for them. Our guys are from all over, California, Texas, New Orleans, so on and so forth. A lot of different places. So it was pretty cool event. Support of, like I said, we're out there support Ozzy and like you said, the relationship that we have with the family and with Ozzy Jr. and Oni, who has been Oni was the manager of the tournament in Iran. He won an award for being the best manager. So it was good to be there in support of the Guillen family, and of course, watching the White Sox play.
The great Ozzie Guillen on deck last night. Light hitting shortstop, had a glove out of this world. But what stood out about Ozzie during the course of his career was his leadership skills. And I'm sure that kind of translated into why he took the White Sox to a World Series championship in 2005. And it's good to see that, the Guillens, Ozzy, they're integrated with what you guys are doing with the Palestinians. This says a lot. It says a lot about his consciousness. We know that when he was down in Miami and coaching the Marlins, he made a political statement about Cuba and Castro, and it kind of ran him out of Miami. Yeah, I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah, that was the
that's after you left the White Sox.
Yeah, that was that Cuban right-wing Republican crowd.
That dominates Miami.
Yeah.
The Marco Rubio bunch.
Yep. Which is causing trouble in South America right now. But part of the diaspora of Palestinians, I'm the son of a refugee.
Mm-hmm.
We were kicked out of our village in 1948 by the invaders and occupiers. We had to leave our homes. We had to abandon our homes and everything. We just packed it. My grandfather just packed a suitcase,
mm-hmm.
and my dad and his siblings, all 10 of them, we hit the road, walking, and we ended up in Ramallah for a little while, and then we had to go on to other places. And that's the story of Palestinians, and that's part of the one thing they say, you're not from Palestine. Well, we wish we were from Palestine, but you kicked us out of there. You made life difficult. So you'll find Palestinians in the United States, Canada. We have 3 players now from Toronto. We have a majority of them from the States. We have Palestinian Cuban that I signed, who's going to be on board in 2027. Lights out, throws in the 90s. We have a Palestinian Venezuelans who we're trying to get to play for us. Puerto Rico. So, South America, North America, all over the world, you'll find Palestinians because of what happened. And it's no fault of this generation that they are somewhere else. But
absolutely,
we reject the label that we're not real Palestinians. So in following up that, not only is the Guillens from Venezuela and our brothers in the South America, for the most part,
mm-hmm.
Support Palestine to the fullest, and the people do. Maybe some of these new governments that they're playing around with elections and putting these it seems like there's now a shift from that was a few years ago, a very pro-Palestinian governments in South America, and now it's the opposite. They're buying out and installing far right wing Zionist supporting governments in South America. But that does not negate the fact that the people of South America, Brazil, Chile, Colombia, Venezuela, Cuba, and others in Central America also support the Palestinian people. And we will continue to reach out to the Palestinian diaspora communities in South America, Central America, and the Caribbean, and bolster our team.
Yeah. So let's talk about where can people in the listening audience get some of that incredible gear particularly that I've seen the jerseys, that incredible hat that you're wearing right now. I saw the Palestine jerseys. I got to get me one of those. Is there a link we can put up that we'll share where the people can
PalestineBaseball.com.
Easy. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. One word, PalestineBaseball.com. Here's a jersey. This is the official player jersey.
Yes.
We have it in red, white, and soon to have it in black.
Beautiful.
That's it's a hot seller. I mean, we were in Houston, Texas a couple weeks ago. I don't know if I told you, and we sold out. Sold out the hats, sold out the jerseys. Big seller. We were at a Palestinian convention at the game that we just played against Mexico. We had a merchandise table, same thing, selling out like hotcakes. We're gonna restock. We'll have we'll restocking inventory in 2 weeks. So go on our website, order your gear.
Yeah, we'll post that on the Muslim Street, and I'm going to be the first one to get me my Palestinian jersey and Palestinian hat so I can wear it proudly. We're kind of seeing something, and I want you to kind of remark to this, because I contend that through sports comes political commentary. We saw it with Muhammad Ali, this marriage between a platform, a cause, and the raising of the level of consciousness of entire people. Right? So here's Palestine at issue. We see a young, teenage Black girl who is working for Burger King. Can't get a more common culture than this. She's probably making, $75 a week at best, because she's probably doing part-time, going to school or whatever. She gets challenged by this arrogant Zionist customer last week, and she's just, she's on the fry line, bro. She's trying to make burgers,
right?
She's trying to get enough money, probably, to buy her favorite shirt or a pair of jeans or something, and she gets harassed by this Zionist, and she says, as she looks up into the camera, "Free Palestine." And she stood on that because of this common culture that's going on. The very fact that those jerseys sold out down in Houston, right? So all of this is happening. And she was able to
What did he say to me, Ariana? What did he say to me, Ariana? What did he say to me, Ariana?
So so the Zionist said, "What did you say?" And she said, "Free Palestine." And she said it again. And she said it again. They fired her, Abdul Rahman, and the community was able to raise hundreds of thousands of dollars for her in a GoFundMe. She don't have to worry about working at Burger King, and maybe she can concentrate on college.
He was harassing her to take it back or apologize, and she didn't. She kept saying "Free Palestine." She's lucky she didn't say something else, right?
Yeah. but she looks like she's 16 or 17 years old. This is the common culture of the shift that's taking place in the consciousness of the people.
Right. And that's scaring the hell out of the other side, is that the young people understand it without the bias, without the media ingraining the other mindset into them. They're not buying it. This new generation is not. If the people under 30 can mobilize and vote, there'll be a lot of changes in this world. And that young girl, in a couple of years, she'll be able to vote if her whole crowd is thinking the same as her. And that's what scares the hell out of them. And have you noticed, like, wherever they go, whether they're in restaurants or something, waiters, or they've been kicked out of some restaurants because of, and their true selves come out because they're getting very defensive, very aggressive, very violent. Even I seen an Israeli, he attacked an American who said something. An American guy, a white guy actually, said "Free Palestine," and the Israeli attacked him in the airport, started punching him.
I saw that.
They're feeling so much pressure, and that's why they're also spending a lot of money now on social media to try to stop it and backtrack that. It's the same thing. I mean, like I said, on the baseball websites, they won't say that we have a Palestinian team. They have all these little code words, or they say the American team representing Palestine.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, yeah. And as you can see up on the screen, little Palestine Classic just ended yesterday. There's a Palestinian team, folks, and some playing baseball. Talk to us a little bit about this tournament. How did they fare? Japan is next in September. Talk a little bit about that.
Yes. So we're going to Japan in September. The tournament runs from, I think, the 20th or 21st to 28th. We're going to get there 2 days earlier. There's an opening ceremony. It's like Olympics. It's the Asian Olympics, basically. They call it the Asian Games, but it's Asian Olympics. It's under the International Olympic Committee, and then there's the Asian Olympic Committee runs this particular event. And 2 years in between the real International Olympics. So baseball is one of the sports there. We are invited because we are the number 8 team in Asia.
Mm-hmm.
So the top 8 get invited. We accepted the invitation. We're going to go there. We're going to face some of the top teams in the world. You're talking Japan, Korea, Taiwan. These are top 10 teams. You've seen them in the World Baseball Classic. They're going to have their pros on this tournament. It's going to be tough, but we're looking forward to the challenge. Also, the China, Philippines, Hong Kong, and Thailand are the other teams invited. We play brackets. There's a Group A and a Group B. So we're hoping to get out of our bracket and go to the medal round. That's our goal. It's going to be tough. So this was in a way to get our guys together, because like I said, we're all in different places. It's hard for us to practice as a team. And that's another disadvantage that we have as the Palestinian team. We're playing against teams that practice together a lot. We don't have that opportunity because we're all over the place. We're all, kids of refugees. So this gave us an opportunity to bring as many of our players together to play. As a baseball guy, how important it is to have the guys practice the double play, right?
Yeah.
Relays from the outfield to the third, different situations.
Be on the same page.
You gotta be on the same page with these other guys. You can't just show up and expect to just gel.
Yeah, being on the same page. Funny story. While I was in Chicago a few weeks ago, Abdul Rahman and some other friends of mine, we all went to the White Sox game, and sitting next to us, part of our crew that night was a guy I played with in high school, Phil Michaels. He was the first baseman. I was the second baseman. And I can remember our freshman year, there's a pop-up, bases loaded, bottom of the 7th, last inning. And I swear I had that ball. I looked that ball go up, and the visiting team circling the bases, of course, because there's 2 outs. And that ball came down, and I lost it in the sun. And I can hear Phil right today saying, Malik, why didn't you tell me you couldn't find the ball? But, so that synergy has to be there, man. As you look at the screen too, you can kind of reply to that. That's the largest mosque in Tokyo, where you guys are going in September. Fun fact, Islam is the largest and the fastest growing religion in Japan right now.
Yes. It's interesting that you show that, because when we played in Taiwan a couple of years ago, we had a break on Friday, Jummah. And we found the biggest mosque in Taiwan. And we went as a group, all of us, to Jummah prayers. And we sat in that khutbah, right? The Jummah khutbah. And it was a young imam. and he did his khutbah in Taiwan in Chinese, in English, and of course he read the Quran in Arabic.
Right.
His khutbah just happened to be on the subject of Gaza.
Wow, mashallah.
And we were like, wow, okay. So, we're listening and we're respectful and appreciative that his khutbah is about Gaza and Palestine.
Mm-hmm.
Afterwards, we thanked him for that. And he couldn't believe that there was a group of Palestinians in his mosque.
SubhanAllah.
And everybody was like around us, photos. And oh my gosh, it took us a half hour of photos after
Celebrity
prayer. And they fed us. What a beautiful experience. And that's one thing, that is extra, that when we go to these different places, we represent. And the other thing I have to say, wherever we go, and this tells you the mentality of the world, not the governments of the world, but the people of the world. Wherever we go, we feel like we're the home team. I mean, other than the actual home team, the fans treat us like a home team.
Like the Harlem Globetrotters.
Harlem Globetrotters. When we played Pakistan for the championship, they were cheering us both on. The Pakistanis were cheering both our teams. Same thing in Iran. We were, the second favorite. They were pulling for us. In Taiwan, same thing. We had so many people come out asking. They were asking. My wife's on the Olympic Committee. They were asking her for the flag, if they could wave the flag. All the Taiwanese kids. And China, it's the politics is a little bit less. China is a big supporter of Palestine, but a political expression is a different thing in the country. Dubai wasn't so much, even though they should be, but they weren't so much. There we are at the Sox representing the team.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Sold out last night. You say you guys are up in the nosebleed seats, huh?
Yeah. Right field, upper deck. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, the right field upper deck. I'm trying. Yeah, you're almost sitting on the expressway and Dan Ryan Expressway way up there.
Yeah, we could take a helicopter over.
I remember. Yeah, we had good seats when we were there a few weeks ago. That's for sure. We were down there in left field, and I thought for sure I was going to catch a baseball, but that didn't happen.
That's a tough spot to get foul balls, because that's really up there to the right.
It's like you lean forward too much, you might end up in right field, man, right there with Braden Montgomery, the right fielder for the Chicago White Sox.
Yes.
Hey, but it's good to be in the park. It was a historic day. Japan is coming up. How can we in the listening audience of Muslim Street, and this is by the way, an historic, groundbreaking podcast, because the Muslim Street will venture this off into the Muslim Street Sports podcast, and this is episode number 1. As you can see here, we talk about Japan being the fastest growing. Islam is the fastest growing religion in Japan right now. These are some indigenous Nipponese Muslim sisters that you'll see when you get there, Abdurrahman. How can listen audience support the national Palestinian baseball team as you move toward Japan? Any fundraising that we can help other than buying that incredible gear that's going to be available up on the website?
Yeah, we make, the gear is, $50 for a jersey and a hat. And we make a few dollars off of that, maybe $10. And, that helps. But we also do have a fundraiser for the team. Let me see if I could send you the link. That one is really for the trip, because, that's the other thing is hard for us, because we have to travel so far, and Palestine, the current situation economically is very tough. They're supposed to be giving us, we different governments, but it doesn't get there. It doesn't get to Palestine. The people of Palestine are really struggling, and just to live, just to manage the necessities of society, that really there is no money for sports.
Sure.
So we have to do our own fundraising and
As you see up on the screen there, PalestineBaseball.com. Click on that, and we'll be able to support the Palestinian baseball team. This is really exciting stuff. Again, where sports meets political commentary. That's where we're going with this, and it will continue to raise the level of consciousness of the people, as we saw in the teenage young Black sister, African American sister, who looked them straight in the eye 3 times and said, "Free Palestine." She didn't care about nothing, bro. I mean, she didn't care about her job. She didn't care about, school, she stood on her principles. And that tells you that, first of all, we can't unsee that. Her generation can't unsee it. And the community came out and supported her to the tune of...
What did you say to me, Ariana? What did you say to me, Ariana? What did you say to me, Ariana?
She was over $133,000, almost $134,000 2 days ago. We think that number will scale to 200,000 by now. But she can be, in a college career and do her thing there. This is the beauty of what we talk about in today's age, which is a lot different than it was, even 25 or 30 years ago, that she can take a stance like that with no filter. Okay. And she won't be harmed. In fact, about it, the opposite is going to be true, that she's going to be supported. And if anybody out there want to continue with the failed narrative, feeding Black people, this is coming from the Black petty bourgeoisie, that that's not our struggle, Gaza's not our struggle, whatever. Malcolm said it best, that the same people who are oppressing people on the African continent, the same people who are oppressing people in the Middle East, are the same forces that are oppressing Black people in the Americas historically over the last 400 years. Same enemy. They're on the same team. And unless we understand how we're going to fight that from a team perspective, we will continue to lose. Final comments, Abdul Rahman.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the support. And we thank all our allies for the support of our people. It's going to be a tough road, but we need to persevere and, support the team, support the people, support any medical missions and so on that will help Palestine. Like I said, they're going through a lot. What we do is secondary to what they go through, but everybody tries to do their part, and you could see what we're trying to do here. We're trying, and then get the next generation to stay connected to their roots. So many of our guys feel more connected by playing for the team. That maybe if we had no team, they wouldn't be as connected to Palestine.
We got Freddie Garcia as the pigeon code. Tell him to call a couple of his peers, Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens, who they won't even let in the Hall of Fame. They literally the best pitcher of his generation and the best hitter of his generation, and arguably the best hitter in the history of baseball is Barry Bonds. And they won't let him in the Hall of Fame. Have Freddie Garcia call them and get them to join the Palestinian national team as coaches. That'd be great.
Yeah. Well, who knows? Who knows who will be our next coach? But yeah, we're blessed to have them on board, and we're looking forward to having a good tournament. We had a good weekend. I really like our pitching. They really showed up. Our first day we lost the game 1, but our pitching looked good. Our hitting was okay. So game 2, we really won big. Brent had 15 strikeouts in 7 innings. Yesterday, Yunus Halim had 10 strikeouts in 6 innings of work. Really outstanding pitching. Got to work on a little bit on our defense. The other thing with the Guians, they Oni manages just like his dad. Defense, aggressive base running, small ball. We don't really have power hitters, so this kind of fits that mold. He's the perfect guy to bring the best out of our guys.
Small balls are going to win every time.
Stealing base.
That's the baseball brand that the Negro Leagues brought to the major leagues and created what we now know as the golden era, the 1950s and 1960s into the 1970s, known as the golden era of baseball. It was because of that small ball, just a fantastic form of baseball you're more in control of what you can do, right?
Right. So we that's our style of play, and that's perfect for us. It's a good fit. Of course, if there's a Palestinian out there who can hit home runs, give me a call. We do need some power bats, but we win the other way. Small things, tight defense, good pitching. Alhamdulillah, we have good pitching, strong pitching, and being really aggressive on the base pass. We're always stealing bases, pushing, being really aggressive. And,
absolutely, man. Well, listen, we're looking forward to it. We're looking forward to that Japan trip. I want to have you back to maybe just before the Japan trip, we'll do another show on building that up and again, how the audience will be able to support that. We're going to drive that home. We're with the general manager of Palestinian Baseball, Abdul Rahman El Gulay. I am Malik Aziz for Art Mobley, who will be returning next week on Muslim Street. Thank you, Lance Scurf, for producing us out of Accra, Ghana. And guys, we'll see you next week. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you for having us. Thank you.
Absolutely. Great show.
Come on.